The story begins with a cheerful children's television show where a trained monkey performs as the main star, entertaining the audience with playful tricks and innocent charm. But one day, something suddenly goes terribly wrong. Without warning, the monkey loses control of itself, and the wild animal inside him takes over. In a horrifying moment, the once friendly performer violently attacks everyone on the set. The peaceful studio instantly turns into a scene of chaos and terror. During the attack, a frightened child manages to hide under a table, desperately trying to save his life. The monkey eventually notices the terrified child and slowly walks toward him. The child freezes in fear, believing he is about to be attacked next. But surprisingly, the monkey suddenly calms down when it sees the child. Instead of hurting him, the monkey gently gives the boy a fist bump and quietly walks away. After that tragic incident, the children's show is immediately canceled, and the shocking event fades into history. Many years later, the story shifts to the countryside, where an old man is seen training horses that are used for movie productions. But suddenly, something strange happens. Mysterious objects begin falling from the sky. One of those objects, a small coin, falls at incredible speed and strikes the old man directly in the head, killing him instantly. His son, OJ, who was standing nearby, is left completely shocked by the sudden death of his father. Doctors later explained the strange accident, suggesting that the coin might have fallen from an airplane flying overhead. They call it a freak accident. OJ accepts their explanation because he remembers hearing a loud rushing sound in the sky that day. 6 months later, OJ is now forced to take responsibility for the family business. He continues training horses for film productions just like his father once did. One day, he lands a job on a movie set and brings along one of his horses named Lucky. During the shoot, OJ's energetic sister arrives and introduces herself to the crew. She proudly tells everyone that their ancestor was the man riding the horse in the very first moving picture ever recorded. Since that moment in history, their family has been supplying and training horses for Hollywood films. However, things quickly go wrong during filming. A shiny reflection startles Lucky, causing the horse to panic and lose control. The frightened animal begins acting wildly, terrifying the entire crew. Because of the chaos, the production team refuses to work with OJ any further. He is immediately fired from the job. This deeply discourages OJ, who is already struggling to keep the family business alive. He realizes that getting work is no longer as easy as it was for his father. With few options left, OJ decides to sell Lucky. He takes the horse to a nearby theme park where he meets a man named Ricky. It soon becomes clear that Ricky is actually the same child who survived the monkey attack years ago. Now grown up, Ricky frequently tells visitors the story of that terrifying day, explaining how he survived the tragedy. Today, he has become a successful businessman who owns his own theme park. Ricky offers OJ a tempting deal, saying he is willing to buy OJ's entire stable of horses. But OJ refuses the offer because he only wants to sell one horse for now. So he leaves the park and returns home. Meanwhile, OJ's sister has a completely different idea. She suggests that they should sell the entire ranch and make money from it. Later that night, while they are at home, something strange begins happening. The lights in the house start flickering mysteriously. Then they hear a disturbing sound coming from outside. Suddenly, one of the horses breaks free and runs away into the darkness. OJ quickly jumps into his truck and drives out to chase the horse. But during the chase, he notices something unbelievable in the sky. A strange flying object is hovering above him. It looks exactly like a UFO. OJ stares at it in complete shock. Then, just as suddenly as it appeared, the mysterious object disappears at incredible speed. Almost immediately after it leaves, the electricity suddenly returns. This makes OJ realize something important. Whenever the UFO comes close, it seems to cause a power outage. As soon as it goes away, the power returns. Shaken by what he witnessed, OJ rushes back home and tells his sister everything. Instead of being scared, she becomes extremely excited. She tells OJ that if they manage to capture a clear video of the UFO, they could sell the footage to the media and become incredibly rich. So the siblings come up with a risky plan. If they can capture clear footage of the mysterious object, they could prove its existence and become incredibly rich. Since staying awake all night would be impossible, they decide to install security cameras around their ranch the very next day. A technician arrives to set up the cameras, but he quickly notices something unusual. Instead of pointing the cameras toward the house or the yard, OJ and his sister ask him to aim them straight up at the sky. The technician finds this request very strange. He begins to suspect that the siblings must have seen something unusual flying above their property. Curious about what they might be hiding, the technician secretly creates remote access so he can watch the camera feeds from his own home. That night, OJ and his sister wait patiently for the mysterious object to return. Eventually, the UFO appears again above their ranch, but the cameras fail to capture it. Every electronic device suddenly shuts down the moment the object comes near. Now OJ and his sister finally understand the problem. If they want proof of the creature, they will need a camera that does not rely on electricity. Meanwhile, the technician is reviewing the footage from his house. While studying the sky recordings, he notices something odd. When he fast-forwards the footage, every cloud moves across the sky except for one. That cloud remains completely still. This makes him realize that something must be hiding inside it. Excited by his discovery, he rushes to OJ's house to tell them what he found. When he arrives, OJ and his sister explain their theory. They believe the object in the cloud is actually a UFO. However, they also admit that a simple photo of a strange cloud will never convince the world. The technician agrees with them. If they truly want people to believe their story, they will need undeniable proof. At the same time, something dangerous is happening at Ricky's theme park. Ricky is hosting a large live show for a big audience. He proudly claims that he has the ability to make large objects disappear. Today, his big stunt involves offering the horse he bought from OJ as a sacrifice to the mysterious object in the sky. Hundreds of people gather to watch the performance. Suddenly, a violent storm begins to form above the park. Instead of being worried, Ricky looks thrilled. He believes everything is going exactly according to his plan. High above them, the strange, unmoving cloud slowly drifts directly over the theme park. Then something terrifying happens. A powerful tornado-like force suddenly drops from the sky. Within seconds, it begins sucking up Ricky, the crowd, and the horse into the air. At this moment, the shocking truth is revealed. The UFO is not a spaceship at all. It is actually a gigantic, living alien creature. This monster survives by consuming animals and humans. In a horrifying moment, it devours Ricky along with the entire audience. Later, when OJ arrives at the park searching for his horse, he sees the alien creature hovering in the sky. The moment it notices him, it suddenly rushes toward him at terrifying speed. OJ quickly hides under a small roof to protect himself. While trying to stay hidden, he accidentally hits his head hard and loses consciousness. Because the creature cannot see him under the shelter, it eventually leaves the area. Sometime later, OJ wakes up and immediately drives away. While speeding down the road, he calls his sister. Breathing heavily, he tells her the horrifying truth. The UFO is not a spacecraft. It is a giant flying predator that hunts animals and people. He warns her that the creature already devoured everyone at the theme park and nearly caught him as well. He tells her he is rushing back home, but just after the call ends, his sister suddenly hears a terrifying noise outside the house. When she looks up, the alien creature is hovering directly above their ranch. Instead of attacking, it begins releasing objects from the sky. Items start raining down onto the roof of their house. Keys, fake coins, personal belongings, and even blood begin pouring down from above. Within minutes, the entire house becomes covered in blood. At that moment, the horrifying truth becomes clear. The alien creature cannot digest metal or plastic objects. Whenever it eats people, it later spits those items back out like rain. And this explains the mystery from the beginning. The coin that killed OJ's father was one of those objects. OJ and his sister explain everything they have learned to the technician. The mysterious object in the sky is not a machine, but a living creature, and they are determined to capture proof of its existence. However, recording the monster will be extremely difficult. Every time the creature comes close, it shuts down all electronic devices. That means any modern camera will simply stop working the moment it appears. So the big question becomes how they can possibly film it. The technician then introduces them to a legendary wildlife photographer. This man is famous for capturing rare and dangerous animals on film. Unlike modern equipment, his camera runs entirely on manual power. It does not use batteries or electricity. Instead, it works through a hand crank mechanism. The next day, he arrives at their ranch with his special hand-cranked camera. Together, they begin preparing a trap for the creature. Knowing the alien is somewhere nearby, they set up several inflatable tube men around the property. These dancing inflatable figures require electricity to stay inflated. So if the alien comes close and the power shuts off, the tube men will collapse immediately. This will act as their warning signal. After finishing the setup, the group waits nervously for the creature to return. While they are waiting, OJ's sister suddenly notices a man riding a motorcycle toward the nearby theme park. That area has already become extremely dangerous because the alien hunts there. She quickly runs over and stops the man before he goes further. She asks him who he is and what he is doing in such a dangerous place. The man explains that he is a news reporter investigating the mysterious disappearances at the theme park. She urgently warns him to turn back because something deadly is hiding in the sky. But the reporter ignores her warning and continues riding toward the park. Suddenly, his motorcycle engine dies without warning. The bike skids across the ground and he crashes badly. The engine stopped because the alien creature is directly above them. OJ sees the crash from a distance and immediately realizes the reporter is in grave danger. If the man stays where he is, the alien will pull him into the sky. Without hesitation, OJ rides out on his horse to rescue him. But he arrives too late. The massive creature swoops down and devours the reporter. At the same time, the wildlife photographer is standing on a nearby hill. He is filming the entire terrifying event using his hand-cranked camera. He captures incredible footage of the creature in action. But then his obsession takes over. He wants an even more impossible shot. He decides to walk directly beneath the alien so he can film inside its body. The photographer underestimates the creature's powerful suction force. Within seconds, the alien pulls him into the sky and devours him as well. Now he is gone. This leaves only OJ, his sister, and the technician to face the monster alone. Suddenly, the alien begins changing its shape. Its body spreads out into a massive parachute-like form as it descends toward them. The creature now focuses its attention on OJ's sister. She runs desperately across the field trying to escape. After a frantic chase, she manages to reach the crashed reporter's motorcycle. She jumps onto the bike and tries desperately to start the engine. For a tense moment, nothing happens. Then suddenly the engine roars to life. She is just far enough away from the alien's energy field for the bike to work. She speeds away and rides directly into the abandoned theme park. Once inside, she quickly unties a giant balloon mascot that is tied near the attraction entrance. The massive balloon floats up into the sky. The alien notices the balloon and mistakes it for food. Hungry, the creature flies toward it and swallows the huge balloon whole. While the monster is distracted trying to consume the balloon, OJ's sister rushes to an old mechanical attraction camera inside the park. This camera works without electricity because it is powered by a manual winding system. Looking up toward the sky, she finally captures a perfectly clear photograph of the alien creature. At that exact moment, the balloon inside the monster suddenly explodes. The highly pressurized gas expands violently inside its body. The pressure becomes too much for the creature to handle. In a massive explosion, the alien is torn apart in the sky right before her eyes. The monster is finally dead. Exhausted and overwhelmed, she slowly sits down on the ground. After everything they have been through, the nightmare is finally over. Through the drifting fog, she sees a familiar figure approaching. OJ rides toward her on his horse, alive and unharmed. Despite the danger and the losses they suffered, their mission is complete. They now have the perfect photograph of the alien, a picture that will prove everything and change their lives forever. The story ends with the brother and sister standing victorious.